Clearwater Beach has been ranked the #1 beach in America multiple times. TripAdvisor loves it. Travel and Leisure just named it one of the top 15 white sand beaches in the world in 2025. And the tourists, they agree because millions of them show up every single year. But here's the question nobody's asking in those travel videos. What is it actually like to live here? Not just to vacation here, but to live here, pay property taxes here, and deal with the spring break here. I'm Cara Bendeck, local resident and real estate agent, and today we're pulling back the curtain on residential life at Clearwater Beach. The lifestyle, the neighborhoods, the real estate numbers, the insurance reality, and yes, the traffic. Stay with me because there are some things about this market you need to know before you fall in love with a beachfront listing. Also, stay tuned to the end and I'll be discussing one of my personal favorite waterfront communities. Let's get started with the geography because it explains everything about living here in Clearwater Beach. Clearwater Beach is a barrier island only about 3 miles long and no more than 3 city blocks wide at most points. That's it. And when you understand how compact this island is, the traffic makes sense, the tourist density makes sense, the real estate prices make sense, and the flood zone situation definitely makes sense. The island connects to mainland Clearwater via the Clearwater Memorial Causeway, and that's your lifeline in and out. There's also the Sand Key Bridge to the south, which connects to Sand Key, another barrier island community that we'll talk about in a few minutes. Now, the island has a distinct north to south personality shift. North Clearwater Beach, up around Manzanillo Avenue, Bay Esplanade, Carlisle, that's the quieter, more residential end. With bigger lots, beach cottages, some estate level homes, this is where full-time residents actually want to be. South toward Pier 60 and the resort strip, that's tourist central. Great for investment rentals, but tough for daily living. Let's talk neighborhoods because Clearwater Beach isn't just one vibe. It's actually several very different lifestyles depending on where you land. The north end of the island, the Carlisle neighborhood especially, is the most desirable residential pocket for full-time buyers. You'll find Key West style beach cottages, some original old Florida homes, and newer renovated properties right on the Gulf. This is the end of the beach where you feel like a local and not just a tourist. Prices in Clearwater Beach as a whole for a single family home have a median sales price this past year of $1.3 million, with the highest sales price at over $6 million. And the price depends on the location, the proximity to the water, the Gulf, and the view. Cross the Sand Key Bridge to the south and you're in Sand Key, a completely different vibe from busy Clearwater Beach. It is about 3 miles of quieter Gulf front living, mostly condo buildings with a great county park. It's part of the same zip code but feels like a world away from Pier 60. The median condo price in Sand Key is about $660,000 this past year, up to over $900,000. This is where buyers come when they want the beach lifestyle but want to actually enjoy it without the spring break crowd. All right, let's have the honest conversation because you may be thinking about living on a beach that gets millions of visitors a year. So let's actually map out what that looks and feels like month by month because it varies a lot. December through February, this is snowbird season. The weather is genuinely gorgeous with temperatures in the upper 60s during the peak of winter and 80s at the end of winter as we go into spring with low humidity. The beach has visitors, but it's manageable and you'll love life here at that time. Now, come March, brace yourself because March is the single busiest month for Clearwater Beach. Spring break traffic can bring the causeway to a complete standstill. And I'm not exaggerating when I say traffic can stop moving on the Sand Key Bridge. Parking near the south end is quite the nightmare. People circle for an hour and pay $30 to $50 a day to park. So this is the trade-off of barrier island living. Now, April and May, things settle with the tourists and the traffic. And it's actually a beautiful time as we go into the summer. And June through August, there is an interesting twist that actually slows the tourist season because of the heat and the humidity. For residents, this is both a blessing and a curse. You get your beach back somewhat, but the heat is brutal with afternoon thunderstorms almost every day. Now, September through November, with October especially, this is arguably the best time to be a Clearwater Beach resident. The tourists thin out dramatically, the weather cools down, humidity drops, and that's your reward for putting up with March. Smart locals hit the beach early mornings or after 5 p.m. during peak season and avoid the tourist strip on weekends entirely. Numbers because this is what you came for. Clearwater Beach real estate has had a real reset since the 2022-2023 peak highs. Single family homes hit an all-time median high in November 2022. However, they've corrected back toward the 5-year average of around $1.6 million. Condos peaked around $965,000 in mid-2023, and they've settled back closer to their 5-year average as well, which is in the $650,000 range. Homes are sitting on the market longer. We're seeing 37 plus days for a median value right now to get a contract compared to the frenzied less than 2-week pace during the peak. So what does this mean for buyers? It means you have leverage you haven't had in years, as sellers are getting around 95% or so of their original listing price on average, depending on the neighborhood, but there is room to negotiate with softened prices overall. Now, what additional costs are there to live in Clearwater Beach? Let's have the insurance conversation. Insurance is one of the biggest wild cards in this market right now. And if you're serious about buying on Clearwater Beach, you need to understand it before you fall in love with the listing. Here's the reality. Clearwater Beach, Sand Key, and Island Estates are all barrier island communities sitting in AE and VE FEMA flood zones, meaning maximum storm, surge, and hurricane exposure. Standard homeowners insurance does not cover flooding. That's a completely separate flood insurance policy, either through FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program or a private carrier. Many major national insurers have pulled back from Florida's coastal market entirely. In 2025, FEMA updated their flood insurance rate maps, and more properties in Pinellas County are being reclassified into higher risk zones. Also, the FEMA 50% rule is something buyers need to understand. Basically, what that means is if you buy an older home and the renovations and repairs exceed 50% of the structure's assessed value, including storm damage, you may be required to bring the entire structure up to current flood code, which means elevating the foundation. After After the hurricanes Helene and Milton in 2024, many homeowners were left in the position to completely level their homes to build up the foundations or simply sell the lot for land value only. The point is that can be a very significant expense. My strong advice is before you make an offer on any property here, get an elevation certificate, confirm the flood zone, and get real insurance quotes, not just estimates. I have vendors I work with who specialize in exactly this, so reach out to me. Don't let the insurance conversation be a surprise at the closing table. So who is actually buying and living on Clearwater Beach full time? It's really a mix. You have retirees and semi-retirees who want the beach lifestyle as their daily reality, and those who can absorb the insurance cost. Also, remote workers and entrepreneurs, people who can work from anywhere and want the quality of life trade-off that comes with waking up near the Gulf. You also have investors buying condos as income-producing vacation rentals, and Clearwater's tourism demand makes short-term rental income a very real here. And you have the luxury buyer, the boater, the second homeowner, the person for whom an island estate's home with a dock is the dream. What you don't typically have is a lot of the first-time buyer or the family on a budget type homes. The island doesn't really offer that, but for buyers who want the Clearwater experience with a lower price point, I recommend communities such as Palm Harbor, Safety Harbor, Dunedin, and parts of Clearwater proper, because you can get to the beach in about 20 to 30 minutes without the barrier island price premium and insurance complexity. That's a whole nother video. One more thing worth noting is the development landscape here is changing. The Viceroy Residences at Clearwater Beach is being developed, and it's an 86-unit luxury beachfront condo community at 551 Gulf Boulevard, and it is the first new construction luxury condo to launch on Clearwater Beach in over a decade. It'll be 2 9-story towers with Gulf views, resort-style amenities, and prices that will set a new bar for the market. The construction began in late 2025, and it's expected to be complete in 2027. And this matters for the broader market because new luxury inventory eventually repositions the comps and sets a new price ceiling. So we need to keep an eye on that. Is the headline. Island Estates is the best kept secret. It's the neighborhood that people who really know this market end up falling in love with it. And I'm talking about a genuine island community, not a condo tower on a busy strip. This is one where almost every single home is waterfront, and most have a private dock in the backyard, and the Clearwater Marine Aquarium is literally your neighbor. Island Estate sits between Clearwater Beach and the mainland, and it's connected to both by the Clearwater Memorial Causeway. It's about half a mile from the beach, and it's close enough to take a bike ride over, but it's far enough that you don't hear the spring break noise. This community was built out starting in 1958. It's a planned waterfront island. The street grid sits on 2 man-made keys. The main island estates is on Pasadena Key and Diamond Isle on Big Mangrove Key. Today, it's home to about 2,300 residences and roughly 4,000 people. Let's start with the reason most people come to Island Estates in the first place. The boating. This is genuinely one of the best boating communities in all of Pinellas County, and here's why. The canal system gives you deep water access from your backyard on your dock directly to the Intracoastal Waterway, and from there through Clearwater Pass and straight out to the Gulf of America. You don't need a marina membership. You don't need a trailer to pull your boat. You dock it at home, step off your back porch, and you're underway. Almost every single family home here is a waterfront property positioned along the canals, and most have private docks and boat lifts. Now, when you're shopping single family homes here, pay attention to a few things. The age and condition of the seawall. Many sellers have been putting up new seawalls, and you'll see that as a selling position on many listings. The depth of the canal matters for larger boats, and the lift capacity, if one is included, is important as well. Now, for condo buyers who still want to be near the water, several of the condo communities here offer boat slips available to residents on a first-come, first-served basis for a small monthly fee. It's not the same as having a dock in your backyard, but you still get the direct water access lifestyle without the full single-family home price tag. Something that I tell every buyer who asks about island estates is that it is not a transient community. People move here and they stay. There is even a civic association, and there's a genuine small town feel here. You really don't expect whenever you're this close to a major tourist destination. There are several social groups for every interest: boating clubs, book clubs, fitness groups, gardening circles. Neighbors know each other, and it's the kind of place where you walk your dog in the morning and have actual conversations with your neighbors. The island is also very self-contained. You have your own Publix grocery store, a gas station, a pharmacy, banks, a UPS store, nail salons, a dry cleaner. You don't have to leave the island for your everyday needs. And for dining options, the Island Way Grill has been the anchor waterfront restaurant here for decades, with fresh seafood, hand-cut steaks and sushi, beautiful sunset views. The Windward Bar and Grill is more of a casual local hangout that serves pizzas, burgers, and they have a Sunday brunch. These are, they're not just tourist restaurants, these are where the locals eat. I have to give a proper shout out to Island Estate's most famous resident, the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. This is a nonprofit marine rescue and rehabilitation center, not your typical tourist aquarium. Their whole mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and release injured and sick marine animals: dolphins, sea turtles, otters, white pelicans. They've rescued over 1,200 sea turtles and hundreds of other animals since 2010. And most people know it because of Winter the dolphin. The Winter is the bottlenose dolphin who lost her tail to a crab trap and became the star of the Dolphin Tale. Now, why does this matter if you're buying a home on Island Estates? Because having the Clearwater Marine Aquarium right on your island means you have a community anchor that brings a lot of positive energy and purpose to the neighborhood. And residents volunteer here, kids grow up going here for field trips, and it's also a reason that dolphins are frequently spotted right in the canal and waterway around Island Estates, because the area is actively monitored and cared for. And from a real estate perspective, unique community anchors like this support long-term neighborhood desirability. All right, let's talk numbers. Island Estates gives you a wide price range, probably the widest of any waterfront community the Clearwater Beach area has. So on the condo side, you can get into the community starting in the mid 100,000s for a smaller unit, and that is remarkable for waterfront living this close to a world-famous beach. The median condo price right now is around $448,000, and the range can go up all the way to $1.8 million for the most spectacular water view units. On the single-family home side, homes start around $750,000 to $900,000 and go up from there. And there was a recent sale that included a 4-bedroom on Harbor Island that closed recently for $3.7 million. Now, the average property tax on a single-family home here runs about $20,000 per year, and that is something to factor into your monthly cost of living calculation. And homes are sitting on the market for about 95 days on average right now, which gives you time to do your due diligence, and sellers have been accepting offers notably below asking. Recent sales have come on average of about 6% below the original list price, which tells you that this is tipping in favor of a buyer's market right now. The home architecture is a fun mix. You've got 1960s and 70s ranch style homes, some with original character, and many completely renovated all the way to newer Mediterranean style estates and modern luxury builds. So square footage ranges from around 500 square feet for a very small condo up to 8,500 plus square feet for an estate style home. The HOA fees and condo fees can range depending on the amenities that are included. You could pay upwards of $1,100-$1,200 a month for a condo fee, but you have to consider if that is also including the water, cable, trash pickup, and just take a look at it as a whole of what it's providing. In the fall of 2024, Island Estates, along with Clearwater Beach and Sand Key, was hit hard by both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, and they were within weeks of each other. So 2 different punches back to back. There was real devastation for a lot of families, and I'm telling you this not to scare you away, because the community has come back and residents have rebuilt, and many people who lost a lot said they would do it again to live here. I'm telling you this because it's the real context for every conversation you need to have about this market. Island Estate sits in FEMA Flood Zone AE, a special flood hazard area. Flood insurance is essentially non-negotiable here if you have a federally backed mortgage. It's legally required, and the Pinellas County substantial damage rule tied to the FEMA's 50% rule means if storm damages hit your home and the repair costs are over 50% or more of the structure's assessed value, you're required to bring the entire structure up to current flood code before rebuilding. That can mean elevating a foundation. That's a significant cost too. So what this means practically for buyers, if you need to know your elevation, you need to know your elevation certificate and before you make an offer. And you need to have an insurance quote, not ballpark estimates, and you need to ask the sellers what happened to the property during these hurricanes. And you need to verify if any recent renovations were done with proper permits. Unpermitted storm repairs are a real issue in this market, but the good news is many homes that went through the 2024 storms were properly repaired, elevated, and upgraded, and they are actually in better structural shape now than they were before. New seawalls, new roofs, whole house generators. Look for those items whenever you are selecting a home, and a home that survived and was properly restored is a different animal than one that hasn't been touched. So who is Island Estates for? Let me paint a few pictures. You're the serious boater. You want your boat in your backyard, direct Gulf access, and a community where your neighbors understand the lifestyle. This is your place. You're a retiree or semi-retiree who wants actual island living, not a condo on a tourist strip, but a real neighborhood with neighbors who know your name, walkable to the grocery store, a short bike ride to the beach. Island Estates checks every box. If you're a remote worker or a professional who wants to live somewhere that feels like a vacation every single day, but still has practical infrastructure, a grocery store on the island, quick drive to downtown Clearwater, 30 to 40 minutes to Tampa International Airport, then this works. You're a condo buyer on a tighter budget who still wants waterfront and the beach lifestyle. The entry-level condo options here are remarkable for what you get. Here's my honest take on Island Estates after years of working in this market. It is one of the most livable waterfront communities in Tampa Bay, maybe in all of Florida, for what you get at this price point. It has the boating infrastructure of communities that charge twice as much. It has the community feel of a small town. It has practical self-sufficiency built in, and it has the proximity to Clearwater Beach without making you live on Clearwater Beach. The 2024 hurricane season was a real wake-up call for this neighborhood, and for buyers, that actually means opportunity if you do your homework, because prices have adjusted. Sellers are negotiating, and there's more inventory than this market has seen in years. This can be one of the best decisions you ever make if you're thinking about moving to Clearwater Beach or anywhere in the Tampa Bay area and want to learn more about different neighborhoods. Feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help people explore their options and find the area that fits their lifestyle the best. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, because I regularly post videos about living in the Tampa Bay area, about local communities, and real estate tips. I've got a helpful resource for you on what it's like to live in the Tampa Bay area and relocating here. Scan the QR code on your screen and I can send you a copy. Also, if you'd like to join my newsletter community, scan this QR code to receive my weekly newsletters in your inbox with local market updates and must-see events. It's a great way to get familiar with the Tampa Bay area too. What do you think about Clearwater Beach and Island Estates? Leave me a comment in the comment section, give me a like on this video, and subscribe to my channel, and share this video with a friend. And until next time, friend, it's great living in Tampa Bay.